Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. Mashallah. Thank you for coming to speak with me today. I very much appreciate it. Before we begin, would you be willing to say a little blessing or prayer to begin?
It is as good as our intention. If my intention is to be present, not subject to space or time, eternally, permanently, boundlessly, then it is as good as the purity of that intention. And that is the ultimate purpose of life itself. Honesty, to return to that which is energizing us, to the ever-present source, which is the same as destiny. Bismillah.
Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Sheikh. Thank you. There's many things I'd like to speak with you about today and seek some guidance, but I'd like to begin by anchoring anchoring the conversation in a bit of you as you began on your path. When was it that you first began to feel that there's something bigger there than just the words that you read in the Quran or that were said in the mosque, that you had to seek deeper?
The underlying drive has always been and always is with every born human being, and that is discontentment. Not enough. You're not truly relaxed with the infinitude and boundlessness of reality itself. It's discontentment. That's the nature of every living entity, because life itself is eternal, whereas the individual life, the person, the mouse, the rat, the human being, is not content.
Mm.
It's relative. Of course, contentment has got so many different levels. But it's not done. You're not done your duty, whatever it is. Something has to still be done. And actually, it's not doing, it's acknowledging that it's not possible. That uncertainty remains and remains, and this is the nature of life on earth. It's the nature of duality, multiplicity, plurality. It never will give me true, durable rest and say, that's it. Thy will shall be done. What thy will? Not enough, no. What happens later? Can I do anything now to make the future better? Because these are the two main issues. Who am I and what is next? Two most important recurring issues. What is this beastie? From the moment he or she is born to the moment he or she dies, there is still doubt, uncertainty, needs, desires, fears, and sorrow. It's not good enough. That's so. What is it? How can one accept the ever-changing reality we are in, the duality we are in, whilst referencing the original zone, that which is the essence of it all, that is not changing or subject to any of the changes of it all, eternal, permanent, boundless. So we are all the time seeking our divine nature, our divine origin, the sacredness which embodies everything, which from which heavens and earth has emerged. We just don't know. So that is why we have to participate. It is not just decreed and done. No, I have to also exclude a lot of rubbish that I may bring in or the atmosphere may bring in. So I have to participate. I have to choose, in a way, so that I reach a point of no choice. This is it. It can't improve. It can't be. It is eternal, constant, permanent, perfect, ever perfect. That's so it must be from the beginning. It's not when I became conscious.
Mm.
That is only a higher level, if you like, of awareness or a slightly different level of awareness.
Yeah.
It's from the moment that we were born crying. We're hopefully in between we question and we stop questioning and we enjoy the great gift of being. There's be, which is eternal. It is now, 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 now. Strings of now. The movement of time becomes eternal, ever present. And then you do interact a bit up and down and give and take, hopefully without much regrets, fears, or sorrows. So suffering is the biggest help and guide. I don't want to suffer. I don't want to regrets. I don't want to go back and forth in time with horrible memories. I don't need a memory. We don't need to remember. It's present. We remember often because we had not cleared it at the time. We were not at one with the one. So I have nightmares, bad memory, good memory, still need others to respect me or whatever, still need to be acknowledged, respect, and all of the other things. Until you lose the you. Naturally, that so-called I will sublimate, will be lost. It's not there because it hasn't got the ingredients of sustainability. The I yesterday is different from the I this morning. The I 10 minutes ago is different to the I now. It's ever changing, reflected upon a screen of constancy, which is the spirit or the soul that is the source of my life. So I am too a source that is ever constant, beyond the mind to comprehend, is timeless, eternal, boundless, and yet it is conscious of ever changing situations at the same time. This is the puzzle. And once I accept the reality of duality, multiplicity, then it becomes easier. And of course, I'm always looking for that which gives me certainty and security because my soul, my spirit, my origin is ever secure. You can't even call it secure. It's from another zone of consciousness where security or insecurity doesn't arise. Once it becomes alive or lives in the zone of duality, then it's seeking its origin consciously, subconsciously, and otherwise. And it's alive because of that origin. So the rest is self-delusion and illusion that no, I'm doing something. I'm a seeker. I am investigating whatever it is. I'm trying to discover the truth. The whole thing is truth. Even falsehood is slightly disturbed truth, slightly darkened truth. It has to have truth. So there's only the truth in multiple degrees of clarities or change or movement or whatever. That's all. Once you accept it all, there's nothing left. That's it. Other than truly singing the praise of the origin of your own life. Others call it singing the praise of the divine or God or the sacred. Fine. But it's only that. Whatever you praise, you're praising an aspect of that, certain dilution of that, or a certain, you know, image of that. And that's it. And that happened probably during the last two, 300,000 years. It began then. And as intelligence rose and rose and rose, until about 15,000 years when the ultimate higher level of human endeavor was the ritual of pilgrimage or worship or whatever. And that occurred in the few areas where food was easy, the climate was conducive. So a few thousand people in different pockets around that area. What I know is mostly in the eastern Mediterranean. There must have been echoes of it many other places. That few individuals who managed to be still, silent, serene. They said there is all with it. That's it. That is it. There is only it. There is only. And then it began to spread, and with different diet, different flavor, different climate, then the different origins, if you like, of religions and awakened being emerged. Oh, he is a great prophet. Oh, but this one is even greater because he acknowledges all of the others. And until such time you find the source of that human divine light is there. But you have to stop the darkness by effort, by prayers, by crying, by laughing, by weeping, by giving up. And then you find that's all what there is. All what there is the truth. But when the more we cover it up, we end up as the world we're in now, where dishonesty had become the norm. you know,
Indeed.
until a few decades ago, people were honest. It was easier. Now it's the reverse. So it's a global dark space we're going in, and we're going to suffer from it, so that by conscious effort we avoid it. That's again participative destiny. You can't just, you have to do your effort to avoid that which brings in poison to the glorious ambience atmosphere of the garden. So we are created for that, aiming for that, desiring that. That's it. It has to be done, experienced with much humbleness and honesty and presence, with no claim and no expectation, just presence, pure presence, losing the lower self ego, because that is the shadow which enables this sublime spirit to take a little journey on earth. It is pure unitive cosmic oneness. To be subjected to the up and the down, it needs a reflection. And that is the so-called I, the shadow I. And all the science we have is that shadow physics. It's a very thin veneer of it being attempting to appear as real. It's nothing real. It changes, it moves, it's all relative, it's all. Until you know all of these different levels and layers of consciousnesses have emerged from divine consciousness. And that's why it took time for the rise of intelligence and consciousness to be able to touch it, accept it, embrace it, be at one with it. And that's all. And that is individual and can become helpful if there is a bit of a collective.
Mm.
Others have done it, others are doing it. So it's the only way. So it becomes the norm rather than the exception. Come and see this is now more enlightened, less enlightened, awakened, all these terms we give to make it impossible. Because the lower self ego wants to assert itself. Anything that exists wants to assert itself, wants to be God. You see that? Don't they know who I am? No, nobody knows. Neither do you. So it's not a big deal.
Wonderful. So, so it seems as if the human being is always feeling I am not enough because we are not remembering that we are part of the great consciousness of the great spirit, that we are separate. And to fill the void of I am not enough, our ego takes over and tries to become enough in money and jobs, in relationships, in achievements, and in naming our practices. I am a spiritual teacher, you know, and that's taking us further into the shadow. So we have to overcome that. But I wonder if Orthodox religions, and I mean that broadly, always seem to present itself as an intermediary between the person and God or Allah or the great consciousness. But mystic traditions, including Sufism and even the mystics within Christianity, are experiencing it directly rather than intellectually through the scriptures or the sutras or the verbal teachings. And I think that one needs to have that direct experience and feeling in order to change and move out of the ego state. Is that something that is correct?
No, correct. All of it is correct and all of it is wrong at the same time. It's like memory. It's so
Mm,
useful. It's also the biggest handicap.
mhm,
Unless you go beyond memory to its origin, then it is the divine light.
mm,
But memory altogether is needed for practical purposes. Where did I leave my shoes or my hand or this or that? Where is the house? It's useful for the animal. Other than that, it causes a lot of difficulty. I remember they didn't really respect me. And how can they not respect me? Because there's God in me, the light of God is in me. How is it they don't see it? They don't see it. There's another side. It is called insight.
mm.
It is some other thing. We don't have it. We are all the time totally preoccupied by the outer sight. Where is it? How is it? How big is it? How small is it? No, it is. So it is insight that the other mystical so-called traditions try to focus on. And it's also because once a path, a religion becomes structured and institutionalized, it loses that true uplifting original delight of it. So it becomes a lot of sets of do's and don'ts, which have their place also. And as for the kids, for the growing creature, you can't do that. You'll suffer. You can't reverse it anymore. Then you remain in regrets. So it's very important to have all those barriers and boundaries and injunctions and fear of hell and the promise of paradise and all of that. It's helpful for the growing creature. But once there is maturity and things are set in, then you can begin to allude to the unitive field. In truth, all of it emanating from the one, pointing to the one, and all what remains after you lose the illusions of dualities is the same one that has been, is, and will be, diluted to various degrees of that immense effulgence. So it's a bit like the sun. You have to shield it before you can see a bit of it. You have to, it's too powerful, too bright, too immense. Nothing ever shows any profile in it, within it. That's it. But since we are here, seeking, discovering creature, we are all the time trying to find out, oh, I now know more. It's basic knowledge. I now have more power because I have more knowledge. Until you reach a point, you find all of that was superficial. It was really inconsequential as far as higher knowledge is concerned, as far as unconditional consciousness is concerned. Within consciousness, no, it's very useful. I know more, therefore, I don't mind listening to you. And I dismiss most of what you say because I know you don't know as much. But since I've learned not to brag and not to appear to be too vain, I keep quiet. Yes, it's another form of arrogance.
Yes.
And so the whole thing is growing slowly within conditioned consciousness until such time you find that this is all fine at a human level, not good enough at the spiritual intelligence level. The human side is a handicap. For the human to be as good a human as possible, then the old animal side is a handicap because it's very gross, very violent, very aggressive. So you have to, so it is that the animal in us brought about the human, and the human, which is the foundation of the divine. All of it exists because of the divine. So it is sight, insight, 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 until none other than that boundless, sacred presence. We call it, you know, mystical and so on, simply because it is not a direct connection with the rationality, with reason. So we call it, no, it's got its own reason. It's higher intelligence reason. So, and also because religions become by heavier and heavier institutionalization, it becomes turgid. It doesn't, it's no longer becomes other than rituals with very little meanings in them. So people say, I don't belong to that. No, I am now a mystic. I am a Sufi. I am a Kabbalist or whatever, whatever. And soon those also become the same. They too become turgid, rigid, and hierarchical. I am a greater Sufi, and so on. It's even worse. Really, you see it all along. So we have reached a point in evolution that you don't need any of this. Just be honest. Be honest, be honest, be honest, and you find there's hardly any you. But there's a touch of the you so long as you are breathing. You can't deny that. There's still a bit of a protection for the soul or the spirit. So at best, you are here doing your best to maintain an ambience for that spirit or divine presence to continue for as long as it wants. And we don't know that because it belongs to another zone of consciousness, not my normal human or refined, if you like, consciousness. I don't know. We don't know. It's wonderful not to know. And then the genuine, true, honest seeker will reach a point that he or she begins to celebrate not knowing. It starts with I know more. The teacher said, I am a greater assistant. I'm number 9. He is number 6. Listen to me more. I have more stripes, you see. And and everybody plays that game. He's a greater follower, less follower, and all of that. They all are underwater. They're competing who is 1 meter underwater or against 50 meters underwater. You're all underwater. You're all hoodwinked anyways. So you realize that it has revealed itself. Human beings have reached a point globally during the last 100 odd years. No matter what background you have, what color you have, what religion you have, they're all stepping stones towards the infinitude of reality itself. Respect it, respect the others, and lose all, because that from which everything emanates encompasses all. So where do you run to? Where do you escape? Be present. It goes beyond tolerance, beyond acceptance, beyond putting, no, it's beyond. That's all good for the children. You have to allow them. Otherwise, there will be no other to play with. You kill them all, you shoot them all, or you shun them all. It won't work. There has to be a reflection. We are in the zone of two. That's why everybody is looking for their partner or the other, the other, the other. So they again accuse each other and blame each other. And as they get older, it becomes worse and worse and worse because they're less fulfilled and they're not. So it's your fault. Yeah, I made a mistake of marrying you. I made this mistake many times. That's, that's it. It becomes boxed in within this duality. The only way out is stillness, stillness, stillness. Most of the prayers or pilgrimages and most of the rituals takes one to that gateway of stillness and silence. Then the grace of serenity takes over. None other than the one, appearing as twos and billions. So that is why the semi-awakened persons say, and I saw you there, and I saw you here, and I saw that, and I thought I found you. The more I find, the more I think I found you, and the more I am confused that I have not found you. That means there's only you, camouflaged in infinite varieties, all drawing their energy from life. And then comes the point that once you really know this and live by this, then you know life is the manifestation of the life giver. It is the manifestation of the sacred. So you respect life in every way it is, you know. And therefore you respect other people who are alive. You respect that. It's alive. You never know its position in the amazing cosmology of the universe. What do we know? It may have a purpose that's not going to be fulfilled in front of me, or we don't know. Then you truly celebrate not knowing. You're absolutely in ecstatic stage of not knowing. It's not relevant for you. What did you want to know? That there is no you. Big deal. There is no you. And there is no them. At best, you avoid the dangerous sleepwalkers. Truly. You don't know what they're going to do in the name of nationality, rationality, or some religious also echo. They justify it by that God said so. But God also says, shut up. But God also said, you're wrong. We don't know. You are the chosen people. So the mosquito also thinks it's chosen. That's, watch out. But 10,000 years ago, there were such things because there were still a lot of very unevolved beings around. But the last few thousand years, whoever realizes that there is another force, another cosmic reality from which all realities, durable or short term, have emerged. So you are now entering into the human fold with an attempt to refer to the sacred. So that's higher state. You are a human being, you have your wants, your needs, your anxieties, your insecurities, you love power, you love money, you love whatever acknowledgement, but at the same time, you know it's not really quite enough. You know, you're not yet truly at rest with contentment, whilst alive, whilst well, not just hallucinating. So that's the completion of whatever an individual can do. Do your best, trust in the rest, and dwell upon that state that's between conditioned consciousness, where we are, and higher consciousness, divine consciousness, pure consciousness. That's what it is. It's not a big deal. It's not something to really be put somewhere beyond reach. No, it's available. Everybody can do it. The more you do it, the more you're liberated from other than it. Nothing can anymore truly frighten you, including death. You say, it's welcome. I'm heading towards it. I'm prepared for it. It's not in my hand. The sooner it comes, the sooner I'm liberated from having to look after this bag of whatever it is, input, output. And at the same time, you respect it because it's a vehicle for the soul or the spirit that's giving you life to experience this. So it is still a sacred thing. You can't do away with it. You can't. You're not allowed to destroy it. If you kill one, it is as though you've killed all. Can't do that. So you are restricted, restricted, restricted in the outer, and the inner freer and freer until there is no inner. It's all cosmic. And then you are truly a reliable, decent human being. That's all what it is. Nothing much more, nothing much less. Otherwise, you also fall into the pitfall of power mongering. You know, we are this special, sacred, whatever path. Or it was useful for many people who believed in that religion and they saw the religious hierarchy around them really messing up and in love with control and power. So they said, no, we are a bit aside. So it's unavoidable. Not anymore. It's not needed anymore. The world has moved to a point where if you practice that true inner commitment to the one whose light is also in you, you will carry on very well. You can have your work, you can have your, even in the corporate world. But don't start proselytizing them because you will be considered a very odd fellow. You know, we are here after money, but we are preparing, we are all serving the community. You know, we are now giving all that. Look at the medical industry. We are serving the community. We are the political industry. We are serving, we are this. And then your inner says, look here, you're not, you can't convert people, you can't change. Be as good as you can be. Be kind and gentle. They are ignorant, they are in darkness, but don't just get run over by them. Then you become super angry. It is not allowed. I tried to teach them enlightenment and they all whacked me. Who told you to teach them enlightenment? Who had appointed you to do that? Be a friend, sit there, and if there is somebody who's trying to take from you, give them that enough. Don't overwhelm them because you spiritual showmanship is awful. It's really the worst. So really, I am in ecstatic joy in knowing that whatever I know is tiny, 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 and it's more than enough. I don't need to know anymore. Presence, presence, presence. Recalibrates, recharges one to the source, which is the one and only one.
I love when I watch your talks that you're constantly smiling and emanating joy and love. And it's very visible to the outsider who doesn't know. Yes,
What
yes,
is not wonderful?
that's right. You know,
Thank you.
Shay,
I enjoyed talking to you.
oh, thank you so much. Um, I'm trying to listen just with an open heart and to receive because I know you're speaking on different levels, and a lot of it can't be comprehended just with the intellect. So I'm following that way. You know, in many of your talks, you've said only the divine is real, right? And do not worship the path. And many people get stuck in the path and then it becomes its own veil. And they're so stuck on the path. You had mentioned a few moments ago that it can bring you to the gateway or the threshold, but
Yeah.
they never cross because they're still in the path or on the practice and not going beyond that. Is
That's also all right. It's loyalty.
yes,
Loyalty at
right.
numerous levels. It's loyalty to the mother, loyalty to mother's milk, loyalty to your origin, loyalty to the color of your. What is loyalty? Loyalty is connection, 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 connection. It's, there are numerous levels of connectivities. Until such time, there is no longer two.
Right.
So it's fine. You have to, yeah, no, and love the path and adhere to it. But that's how it is. That's not bad. Let them stick to the path and stay on the path. Fine. And they'll be liberated when they die anyway. So they know that is also not too bad. There's nothing wrong with any of it. Really, the duality is that. The opposite also accentuates the other side. The only thing is that not to be in that skirmish because the half is fighting the other half. Half of you is fighting the other. The two is in me. Be more generous. But is it then suddenly the reason and the mind and memory comes? Is it appropriate? Is it correct? Do they deserve it? Do they not deserve it? I did it before. And the argument carries on until they all die. The path and the love of it simply reflects an aspect of loyalty. But if loyalty is not to the origin, which is everywhere, all the time, then you have missed the ladder, which we call
Mhm.
loyalty. Then you stopped at the third rank and you are now admiring. That's fine. Also, that's what can you do? This is the limitation of intelligence. If you allow intelligence to rise, it will zoom to its origin, and that's it. But the people around you will be frightened. That's another thing. It's maybe for their sake that you fall in love with the path. For their sake. What do you know? That they'll be dead scared. Suddenly, one day, this father who was good and taking the children to school and helping this and helping that and worrying about money, suddenly one morning he gets upset. All is well. Even if we all die collectively, I'm celebrating it. It's frightening. You know,
Right.
it's so they get stuck with the path. Fine. It takes all kinds.
It does take all kinds.
Really, it's not my business to go around and to smash all the idols. Everything is an idol.
Yeah.
Even the idea that there's only one and you have to, it's another idol. You don't need to, you can't say it. Because once you say it, you have created an aspect or a description of an idol. There's only that. Everything else are radiations from that.
Mm.
That's it. And take what you can absorb, what you can digest, and enjoy it. Maintain the best in humanity, which is kindness, tolerance, acceptance. If you can't do it because it's too much, turn away. You know, the Quran tells you, said, wasn't the land wide enough to go somewhere else? Go to somewhere else. That's it. If they were oppressing you, depressing you, you can't take it. But for the more you're awakened, the more you can accept the worst. It's really good. You mentioned the Sufis and the others. There was this Sufi sheikh who was known to have a wife who was the most obnoxious woman in town. And his faithful disciple who wanted to be like the sheikh, whom was sent some other town. So in that town, he hears that there is a woman who is the most obnoxious. He said, "Oh, I have to follow my sheikh." So he marries her. Soon he can't take it, so he kills her. So they chase him. He goes back to his sheikh. He said, "Look here, I did what you did, and I married the worst woman in that town, and they want to kill me because I killed her." So he said, "You are not me.
Right.
You can't. You, I am of a different creature. I'm a different background, different thing. I put up with it. For me, it's the same. In fact, having the most obnoxious person kept me always aware of the danger of falling down, of falling into the abyss of expectation. No, it's who are you? It is her stupidity that made me who I am. And it's your stupidity who killed her. No, you can't. It's very fine, fine, fine. It takes honesty, honesty, honesty.
Mhm. You, that's a funny story. You've also always said that there is no such thing as time and space. And of course, I feel like it's only true for us here on Earth in this universe that we're experiencing time, which we've created the concept of that. So that means conceptually that it should take no time to join back with Source and to become aware of the divine within yourself or to become self-realized because time is an illusion anyway. But so many people are getting stuck at the threshold just below that. What is what are some methods or practices to be able to cross that threshold, or is it just sitting in love and quietness?
All of it is all right. If you decide that, no, I can't help them, I greet them, stay on the threshold. What's that to do with you and I? They want to stay at the threshold or not. So why should I take that burden? If they are content with it, good luck. If somebody at the threshold, not content, all the time looking for a way out, then you tell them, say, look, this is one zone, and there's another zone from which this zone has emerged. It has no beginning and no end, no space, no time. Space and time has a reality. As a human being, I am within space and time. But higher reality is not limited to any space or any time. And that's what we all love to have. Not good enough. How much is enough in terms of power, knowledge, money? Not good enough. Because the nature of my soul, the nature of life in me is boundless, is eternal. So nothing that can be measured is good enough. So therefore, we are taught as a child modesty. It's enough for you now. It's enough for you. Don't be too concerned. But anxiety continues. Anxiety. What if? What if? What if? What if the currency collapses? What if the what if? What if? What if? What if? What if? What you may not be in your body. So that no, we are that. We are all the time seeking that which is not subject to the limitations of space and time. So I accept space and time, and I enjoy it. There's a limit. It's enough. Now there is a limit. Rest. Now there is a limit. Don't talk too much. Now that, and so it's wonderful. Where that's why it is participative destiny. I have to take part in it, mostly in avoiding. No, I can do everything. What do you mean? How can you? Who is you? Most of what you're going to do with this illusion of doing everything cannot be retraced. It's a one-way tunnel. You can't go back.
Right.
And you may regret it for the rest of your life. So be cautious. That's why parental spiritual upbringing is vital. And that can only be truly given by example. You can't teach it. You can teach basic conduct, limitations, respect of others. Yes, yes, yes. But ultimately, it is the subtle nuances of a parent. They've taught you whatever, they still remain, loving, accepting, forgiving. That's all. That's because then it reverts to a higher level so that you become now equipped enough to live in this life of duality with all its challenges, drawing from the source of it all, drinking from that supreme spiritual fountain. And that's it. And the others don't want it, they don't want it. It's not, you're not being appointed as a spiritual policing. Can't do that. You can't force it. You cannot force the path of awakening to the soul upon anyone.
Mm. Just by grace. It's by
By
grace.
grace, and if you're present, neutral enough, you share with them what's appropriate. Don't overwhelm them. Because if somebody is full of themselves, having lived by their biography and by their all, it's not easy if you just tell them, really, you don't exist. It's a very big shock. You know,
Yes.
be gentle. And
Yes.
trying to awaken somebody. Somebody is deep, deep asleep. You don't pour a bucket of cold water on their head. Slowly, but say, hello, hello, you make some noise. Kindness, it's connectedness.
Yeah.
Ultimate kindness is connected.
But if we take this on a personal level, rather than trying to help someone else, if the practitioner themselves is at that threshold and hasn't been able to cross, what can they do or stop trying to do in order to allow that grace to pull them up? Or is it beyond their capability? It's not their choice.
It is a process, work in progress.
Mm,
Every human life is work in progress.
yeah.
But ultimately, the final solution is death, because the veil is now removed from the illusion of you and I and he
Yes.
and she. But you can't do it. It's by grace, as you said.
Right.
No, you can. And they know it also. They know it's not done. It's not. So you come across many good practitioners, decent, helpful. They know, and also the awakened one also know that they have not gone past it. Maybe just as well, because if they go past it, they may stop practicing. They may stop being practitioners. They have
Right.
been in the past. They were useful to others. Now that he is awake, they're no useful. He said, all is well. He said, Baba, I'm suffering. He said, all is well. No, it is. It's
Right.
a handicap. So
Yeah.
they said, God is in charge, all is perfect, your suffering is perfect. Well, not good enough.
You know, many teachers, there was a famous teacher in India, Ramana Maharshi, and who had self-realization when he was 16 years old. And he always said that the solution is the annihilation of the ego. But another great teacher in South Africa says, do not destroy the ego, make it your servant or a housekeeper for the soul, and that teacher is you, of course.
It's a different culture. I
Yes.
am a big admirer of Ramana Maharishi.
Mm,
In his culture, which is where, well, he woke up in that wonderful place in a barren mountain and he walked barefoot, and that everything around him was, in a way, sacred. He
yeah.
was not exposed to the ups and the downs of human life and married life and whatever. So he was correct. He was what he said was right. In that language, in that culture, the ego meant seeing other than the one.
Hmm.
So, but he was correct. But the culture, the time, the amazing explosion of human beings that we have now,
Yeah.
it's easier to say, no, your ego enables this unfathomable high level consciousness of the spirit to accept being within this body for a while. So, as much as it is darkness, but you need a bit of darkness to allow this light of lights to be alive for a while within this ocean of duality and conditioned consciousness. So, both are correct. It's the context.
Mm,
One is the context of sublime state of running around semi-naked with hardly any food, with hardly anything, just being intoxicated beyond any description. And the other one being no amongst people, shopping, electronics, voices. So, you say no, reduce the extent of falling into the trap of your egocentricity. But don't kill it when it's alive. If
right.
you kill the easiest way is to die. So that's what also Ramana always says. No, who is speaking? Who is the talker?
Right.
Once you chase it, you find it doesn't exist. So he was a great being.
Yes. Yes.
The majority of people who visited him, all what they wanted is to photograph with him or to say, I've been there.
Celebrity. That's
Hardly.
the ego.
Your spiritual ego.
Yeah.
You are a great Maharaj or whatever you, and you haven't been to Ramana. It's not correct. So you have to have it.
Right. In you're absolutely correct. Thank you for clarifying is the context because in our modern world and for people like you and I and most of the people, almost everyone that we know personally, we have to live among the society within a culture, within a country, and multicultural connections and conversations and interactions that you're not just sitting alone in bliss all day. And also the ego is necessary for telling you you better eat or you'll die. You better drink water or you won't be well. But we need to keep this ego from becoming the master.
And it's a great teacher.
Yeah.
It's a great teacher. Many a time I had been subjected to a situation where I thought they're all very serious, sincere people and so on. And I found no, there quite a lot of aggression, quite a lot of disappointment. And somebody had read something somewhere and they tried to show that they have read. So they asked a question that's really not a question. They just tried to show that. So, you know, the ego says, look, this is terrible. But the light in my own soul says, no, this is how human beings are. They want to show off, and you allowed it. Shut up. She's a great teacher.
That's right.
Really. No, I said, no. Why did you come here? Because you thought you will be accepted. They will acknowledge your teaching, or they become grateful. No, they don't. They're all stupid. Shut up and say. So it can be a great teacher as well. So it is that lower self, ego self. If it is very thin veneer, it's important, it's helpful, and refer to it. My ego tells me now I'm going to tell them all you are all very stupid. But my higher self says, but it's not going to help them. And you're going to show off. No point. Keep quiet. That's
Sounded like my mother when I was a child, shut up, sit down.
wonderful.
Yes,
We thank your mother.
I
Bismillah.
I do. I do. What changes in a person that they can feel and experience, Sheikh, when they start to live from the Ruh rather than the Nafs?
It's a very dangerous area. It is those areas that they say you really need a reference or a teacher
Mhm.
because you can go off. You can suddenly, you know, you suddenly announce and declare yourself as God's manifestation.
Mm.
Everything is God's manifestation. So is the anti-God. But so it's dangerous. That zone has to be balanced by worship, respect, service, giving. What have you done today to help those who are less than you?
Mm.
To maintain the connectedness to humanity can be very, very dangerous because it is no man's land. As a human, you have anchor. You have this is correct, this is not correct, this is more generous, more generous. What about infinite generosity? Oh, there's no anchor anymore, you see. So it
Right.
becomes dangerous, and actually, people will be frightened. You become, in fact, a bit of a pariah. Whatever we gave him, he gave away. Not right. People expect a bit of a mental accountability, a bit of a conditioned consciousness.
Mm.
So the time that you are locking yourself up or you're trying to completely lose any aspect of the ego is a time where ideally you need somebody not too far or standby. There is a story of a great sheikh in Morocco who was very religious. He was actually bound by religious practices. But whatever happened after many, many, many months of practicing silence and isolation and fasting. One early morning, he used to go and pray in a mosque as an imam. It suddenly hit him that there is nothing. All of what he lived for is of no value. So it destroyed his connectedness with the human side. So he came out of his house, the time of the morning prayers, completely in bewilderment, singing La ilaha illallah, like a madman, intoxicated by the divine, mad in the one. And the people who were about to go to the mosque, they saw him and his voice and the way it was, that energy field was so powerful. So soon they were about 300 of them walking in the streets in Fez in madness. Nobody knew what was going on. And the time of prayers was almost arriving. But one being who was fully awakened, he knew what was going on. So he came with a slightly louder voice, La ilaha illallah, came right in front, led them all quietly back to the mosque. You see?
Nice.
So it is dangerous. It's helpful if there is somebody not too far
Yes.
who knows that in truth there is nothing other than truth without definition, without boundary.
Mm,
So, and it rarely happens actually. It's not common.
right.
Because step after step after step, until you know that no, I am still in human thing and I have to abide by the human requirement. Be correct, be kind, and shut up. They can't take it. Allow them, it's not your business. You know, they may go mad. Many people, in fact, when they have been in the past put in seclusion, they go a bit mad.
Yeah.
They're not ready for it. They're not sufficiently, mature in their spiritual intelligence rise
Mm,
to be able to take it and realize.
yeah.
Not good. Yeah. A lo- Often you hear, especially with the well-known famous shuyukh of the past, there were always few people around in their center in their zawiyah who were considered to be majdoob, were they're not, they are no longer able to reason. No, they do things that are very odd and so on. Often, that's the case. It's because they were not ready for, you know, realizing the infinitude of the divine presence and the finitude of human consciousness. See, that's the issue.
Mm,
Limitations are great.
yes.
Biggest help. Limitation. Really.
You've often said that the spiritual path is one of saying no, of a daily decrease, not increase, of not acquiring more. Could you talk a little bit about the path of exclusion?
You see, increase is knowledge. Increase is connectedness
Mm,
in the zone of duality, in the zone of conditioned consciousness where we are. It is the usual trend and tendency and a drive, and it is fine. But with higher wisdom, with greater, if you like, touch of the higher light, you reach a point to ask yourself, then what? Then what? What comes what? I mean, I myself was, as a young man, at a position to earn far, far more than the average or anybody else. It is the timing, the situation, the language, the culture, whatever. But I was fortunate enough to realize what to what end. It causes more trouble. It causes more attachments, more fears. What if, what if? So, in a worldly sense, we want more connection, more acquisition, more security, and. But it undermines your spiritual growth.
mhm.
Spiritual growth is less is more. earthly evolution, whatever we aspire for, more is more. So, but on the spiritual side, less is more. So
Yes.
you are not incumbent. Your mind is not constantly preoccupied. What if, what if, what if, what? There is no you. It was an illusion that was helpful for the worldly side. Don't deny the worldly side. But you are not a worldly only. You are a spirit in a worldly garb. That's it. And you will wake up to it after you die. So there's no rush. You haven't woken up fine. Live well, enjoy well, maintain your health, maintain whatever. But don't bring in the excuses that you're pursuing wealth for the sake of the others because you want to open more hospitals. It's a lie. Your love is not with the light. Your love is with increased worldly recognition. Don't cheat. That's why I said earlier, honesty is rare now. Be honest. Honesty will take you beyond you. That's all. If you're truly honest, it will all fall off. And you take what is needed to maintain health, well-beingness, enjoyably, quality life, but at an optimum point. But the nafs, the lower self, is too clever. So it comes in disguised. Not for my, we have charities, we have got children, we have got orphans, we have to keep all of
But that's for many, that's being done from the ego space because it makes them feel
Of
good
course,
to do it and they can tell people they're
correct.
doing it. Look at my
Of course, there is a
credibility.
better ego, there is a worse ego, there is a dark
Right,
ego, there is a black ego.
right.
Yeah, of course there is.
Is that why you say that we need to learn how to what is it? Save yourself from yourself? Save ourselves from
Correct.
yourself?
The self is treacherous. It comes in disguise as in all kinds of ways. For the sake of your religion, for the sake of your nation, for the sake of humanity, I have to do it. Why? Why have you been mischosen to do that?
Hmm.
It's not. You are here to discover the real you. And the real you is a light that is sacred, that is not bound to space and time. Part of the divine generosity, it says in the Quran, I blew into him from my soul, the human
Hmm.
being.
That's
So the divine light resides there. And so don't over, push yourself to exclude. No, it will come in its own time. Maybe for the sake of many others who need you still. You promise them that you'll help them. Fine. Continue that. Allah's in charge.
hmm.
He knows the timing for everything, the right timing, the wrong timing. It has to flow. It can't be, with a very big bang. It's not natural. Natural flow. Nature has to take its course. Be honest, be honest, be honest. It will fall off. How can you not love life? How can you not be, in a way, lured to all kinds of the sun, the light, the flowers? It's impossible to do that. And you suddenly find this is the human nature of you. Welcome it. Human nature is there due to spiritual nature. Recognize that, and in time, it will begin to take over more and more and more and more without denying the human nature, without denying the traces of the lower ego also. Without denying. You laugh at it. Oh, your ego now is telling you these people don't deserve your teaching because you're teaching at such a high level, they're not being acknowledged. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Don't be cozy. And the worst thing is religious or spiritual coziness, you see.
Yeah.
Smugness is
Yes,
the word.
smugness.
Smugness. Don't you know who we are? No, we don't know. Nor do you. We don't.
Uh, You're being very generous with your time. I thank you. If you would permit a few more questions. I don't want to
Go.
hold you all. Oh, wonderful.
You are
Wonderful.
holding me, but carry on.
Yes, that makes me feel terrific. Thank you.
Go.
I know. As anybody could see today, the world is really in a bad place. There's so much chaos and instability going around. Is there something that we can do as individuals to help change things societal on a societal level or global level? Or is the responsibility really for us to just work on ourselves and connecting with the divine individually or something different?
Both.
Hmm.
You can't not raise a voice against injustice. And it is all because of a sliding scale of dishonesty.
Yes.
50 years ago, none of the today's leaders would have been acknowledged as leaders.
Hmm.
Honesty prevailed much more. But we were not aware that dishonesty can be disguised as being good for the country, for the nation, and end up taking over. That darkness is now global. Everyone suffers. So that is why we have to be cautious in that something that is dreadful, unjust, horrible, taking place 3,000 kilometers away. Quran warns us against that. Don't ever rest and say it is far away from you. It may come to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
We are in a time in human history that the dreadful stupidities, ignorance, darkness, selfishness, and all of these other things of great leaders, big leaders, affects everyone adversely. So, in a micro scale, this is terrible, terrible, suffering, and dreadful. But look at it from the macro point of view. It helps the awakening quicker.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean we should keep quiet. No, you should raise your voice against injustice wherever it is, however you can. You know, sometimes it may be more effective. Your silence, not answering, can be far more, you know, vocal than what. So do as best as you can, because it is true what you say. It is the most dreadful time, the collective human consciousness going around. Over 9 billion people. Lies and lies and more lies. And in the West, the so-called Western civilization took pride by expressing, allowing self-expression and expressing your view, your voice. Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Try and express your voice now anywhere you find it. You'll be reprimanded. It is a very, very dark and difficult period we are all going through. So it has to be dealt with. If you can change, affect it in any way, do. If not, turn away. If not, whatever you can do. You can't remain, if you like, inert. Not possible. If anything, the price of your food, your fuel, all of that is going to hit, and will hit the poor. And you can't do that.
Mm.
The entire, if you like, religions of the world is for the poor, to uplift them. Christianity is all based on that, on charity, on kindness. So no, it is a very, very dark period in which we are all sliding in the name of whatever it is. It's a terrible, terrible, collectively difficult period. And we have to respond, everyone according to their ability.
Yeah.
Where is kindness? Where is generosity? Where is helping the others more than you? And so on. It will change. I am convinced what we are experiencing now will reverse, and its full effect will not be maybe for a few decades, few more generations. There has been a rise in human consciousness over the last thousands of years. It will continue. In the meantime, there is a big dip. within it's a cyclical thing. It's
Mm,
a huge dip now. It will change, and we have to participate in it, pushing it.
yeah.
Unacceptable. This issue of chosen people, and we can. It was correct 8, 9,000 years ago. Small group of people with a bit of food, a bit of, they could meditate, they could. And there were still at that time many more primitive people, and the Neanderthals were around or whatever. But not anymore. The last 3, 4,000 years, it's not anymore like that. You find awakened, good people, enlightened people everywhere you look. So you can't, everybody's chosen. Wherever life has been touched is chosen because life is sacred. So you have, wake up. This is still very primitive, it's unacceptable.
Indeed. I've learned quite a bit here today. Thank you so much, Sheikh. I
I enjoyed talking to you. I really
thank you.
thank you, thank you. Thank you for being you. Carry on being you. I respect your honesty, sincerity, and courage. Good luck.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Sheikh.